What's up, metalheads? My name's Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel. Thank you guys so much for being here, and welcome to the official knife sale video. All right, the introduction here is going to be me going over how the knife sale works, how you go about purchasing a knife. For all you guys that have been here for previous knife sales, everything's the same. Everything is exactly the same. First off, in the description of this video, you will see an email address. You will also see a list of all the knives. Before you email that email address, check that list of knives. If it says sold next to it, it's already sold. That email address is Bravo Echo Delta Charlie knifesale@gmail.com. That's BEDC knifesale@gmail.com. If you're watching this video on Saturday when it goes live on YouTube, which will be at 6 p.m. Eastern, and a lot of knives already say sold. Keep in mind it went live 24 hours earlier, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern to all my channel members. So if some knives are instantly say sold, that's why. The channel members had early access to the video, and they have early access to all knife sale videos. So if you aren't a member, maybe you want to consider becoming a member. Let's see, payment. Payment is only accepted through PayPal Friends and Family. If you're not comfortable using PayPal Friends and Family, then please do not send payment. If you use goods and services, your payment will be refunded. PayPal does not like us. They do not like sharp things. They will ban accounts. They charge ridiculous fees, and they report to the IRS for something you've already paid taxes on. So if you don't want to use Friends and Family, you're not comfortable, don't buy the knife. It's cool, no worries. I've done multiple knife sales in the past. There's never been an issue. So, but if you're not comfortable, I get it, but don't buy the knife. If you buy more than one knife, you get $5 off each additional knife. That discount does not, or off each knife. That discount does not apply to scales. So if you were to buy 3 knives, you would get $15 off. If you were to buy 4 knives and a set of scales, you would get $20 off. If you buy 2 knives and a set of scales, you get $10 off. $5 off each knife does not apply to scales. Scales are already marked way down. They really don't cost any additional to ship, and the price of the knives already includes shipping. So we want to pass that savings on to you if you buy more than one knife. Some of you are international, and in the past I've not shipped international. But here's the deal. If you want to buy a knife and you're in, say, Iceland, you know who you are, you can buy the knife. If I don't know which ones you want exactly, but if say you wanted this Bridgeport 395, I will ship it to you, but you pay the additional in shipping. The first $10 in shipping is on me. So if it costs $50 to ship, you got to pay an additional $40 for it to be shipped. I will give you the exact amount. I'll send you a screenshot of what it costs me to ship an international, and you have to pay the additional shipping. Also, if for some reason a knife, like say this Yojimbo 2, does not make it through your customs for whatever reason, gets stuck in customs and you never get it, it's on you. It's not on me. It's not on the seller of this knife. You take all the risk. If for some reason 3 months later this knife shows back up at my door, then I will refund your money. But if not, it's on you. I don't want to take the risk of the international. I don't know all your crazy laws or your shipping laws, international laws. So it's up to you. If you want to do it, we'll do it. But you assume all risk involved with doing it. And I think that's about it, guys. I think we're going over everything. If you do have any questions, you're watching this video right now and you're like, oh, what about this? What about that? Your quickest way to contact me is to DM me on Instagram, Blades and EDC on Instagram. But you can also email me at that same email address, bedcknifesale@gmail.com, if you have any questions, and I will answer them as quickly as I can. This is a first come, first served basis. When the knife sale goes live, I will be available initially, for the first couple hours to reply to everyone. But, I have a life, so I will reply to everyone as quickly as I can. And if, say, like I know this Bridgeport 395 is going to be a hot knife. First, actually a member will probably buy this, but for some reason they don't. The first email I get, I will reply to first and say it's theirs. And if they don't reply, I'll contact the next person. So it's first come, first served basis. All right, guys, I think that's it. Now I'm going to cut over to showing you each knife and telling you about them and get into it. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you in just a second. All right, metalheads, it's time to look at the knives. Keep in mind, I'm not using my normal microphone, so if I sound a little differently, that's what it is. I'm recording this on my phone. All right, so let's jump into the list here and look at the knives. Keep in mind, channel members got the spreadsheet emailed to them, so they had access to the knives and the pricing ahead of time. First up on the list, it's a Tucson TS134. This one is a tepe design, burlwood scales, 14C 28N blade steel, deep carry pocket clip, great reverse flicking action, and great flipper action. And the price on the TS134 is $55. Next up, we have the Tucson TS180. Great reverse flicking action, but even better front flipper action. Two-tone blade, satin on the flats, coated black on the, satin on the grinds, coated black on the flats. Burlwood scales, deep carry clip, 14C 28N and also $55. Next up, we have the Tucson flashlight. This is a TS LED 06. This is a fully titanium flashlight. Gorgeous milling. Feels really good in hand. This would be fun for someone to anodize. Really would make a good anodizing project. Price on the flashlight is $45. Next up, we have the Tucson TS190. This is an absolutely gorgeous knife. Titanium frame lock with beautiful milling on the titanium. It's also milled on the pocket clip, titanium backspacer, M390 blade steel, beautiful grind lines. Price on the TS190 is $90. Such a great deal on that knife. Next up, we have the Tucson TS191. Titanium frame lock again with carbon fiber inlays, titanium pocket clip, titanium backspacer. Blade steel on this one is D2. And the price on this one is $70. Those are my fingerprints up there, FYI. Next up, another Tucson, the Tucson TS263. This one is a front flipper. Don't look at the camera, look at the knife, Jamie. My beautiful micarta inlays. Interesting holes here. I'm not sure if those are supposed to be like a Fibonacci sequence or not, but that gives me Fibonacci vibes. I don't know if that's what it is or not. This one has almost a mirrored polish on the blade, but it shows every little imperfection, and you can see them. They're minor scratches, but they look major on the polished blade. This one is 14C 28N blade steel also, and the price on it is $70, and it is a front flipper. Great knife. Next up, the Tucson TS300 with 14C 28N blade steel and the heat anno titanium frame lock. Fingerprints on it. Man, I can never get this to show up right on camera. There's blues and golds and magentas all in there. It's just hard to get it to show up on camera. You have a compound grind. You have a hollow grind here on the cutting edge. A flat out there in the tip. Really good action. Complete guillotine. Great reverse flicker. Price on the TS300 with the heat NO and 14C is $150. Next up, we have the Apurvis Primordial MK3. This one has had the upgraded Zircotite kit added to it, Zircotite pocket clip and Zircotite backspacer, but it does also include the titanium pocket clip and backspacer. These are React-made knives, titanium frame locks with carbon fiber overlays. Really good action, so buttery smooth. I mean, just like it's on glass. Yeah, great knife. Price on the MK3 is $260. Next up, we have the Divo knife Stout. One of my 2022 knives of the year here. Some of the best action I have ever felt on a knife, honestly. Detent perfection and a straight guillotine to go with it. Just absolutely amazing knife. And they're dropping a bunch of like fat carbon scales you can get to replace the micarta scales right now. Man, this thing would look so sick with some of those fat carbon scales with everything else being black. These are 20 CV blade steel bolster locks. Just fantastic knife. Price on the Stout, $210. Great deal on that knife. Great deal. Next up, we have the Vero Engineering Axon Murdered Out Edition. Not 20 CV, M390 blade steel. This one is missing the authenticity card. but it is authentic. I promise you, it is authentic. Great knife. Vero does such a good job on their knives. Front flipper, reverse flicker, and you can thumb flick it also if you're good at that sort of thing. Just detent perfection. Great knife, man. Price on the Axon is going to be $220. Next up is another Vero. This is the Vero Impulse, and this is also M390 titanium frame lock with all the hardware and clip and backspacer anodized blue. Fantastic action, just so glassy smooth on the flipper. Price on the Impulse is $285. Next up, another Vero, the Vero Engineering Synapse XL with the Jade G10 overlays, titanium bolster lock, titanium clip, backspacer, hardware, M390 blade steel. Beautiful finish on the Veros. These are all done by Bestech, by the way. Fantastic reverse flicking action, or Spidey flicking action, as some of you may call it. And great flipper action also. Price on the Synapse XL is $300. Next up, we have Quiet Carry Drift. This is the liner lock drift with the black G10 scales. These are Vanax super clean steel. These knives are made to last forever. Everything about this knife is corrosion resistant, meant to last forever. This one here, the liner lock with the Jade or the black G10 is going to be $220. We also have the titanium version. This is titanium frame lock with the I think it's like a bronze finish. I'm not sure what you call this finish, but this is the most expensive one they sell, Quiet Carry Drift. And the price on this one, same steel, Vanax super clean steel, LC200M lock bar insert on this, phosphorus bronze washers, just made to last forever. Price on this drift is $260. Next up, we have a Demko 80 20.5. This one is OS 10. Has the shark's foot blade. This one does not include the pouch, but it does include the patch. So it is missing the pouch. But other than that, it's in, like, let me wipe that off if I can. That's just me touching it, marks. It's in like new condition. Price on the 80 20.5, $110. Next up, we have a Pena large swayback. Front flipper, top flipper. I'm gonna top flip it. Don't look at the camera. Pena makes some great knives. These are Reap made knives. Super glassy smooth action on these knives. M390 blade steel, micarta overlays on there, bolster lock, titanium pocket clip, titanium backspacer. Just a beautiful knife. Shows very, very light signs of use. $240 on this one. Next up, Spyderco Paramilitary 2 S45 VN version, black G10 scales. What do I even need to say? It's a Paramilitary 2. Looks brand new. No scratches on the blade at all. Excellent condition. Complete drop shutty action. Price on the PM2, $150. All right, I got to scroll down here, guys. I'm at the bottom of the page. All right, next up, we have a DLT exclusive Spyderco Yojimbo 2. This Yojimbo 2 is 20 CV blade steel with the tan G10 scales. If you don't know the Yojimbo 2, what are you doing with your life? How can you be a knife collector and not know about the Yojimbo 2? One of the most badass knives out there. I absolutely love the Yojimbo 2. So much I considered buying another one and buying this one, but I got other projects in mind. Price on this Yojimbo 2 is going to be $150. Next up, we have a zero tolerance. This zero tolerance comes in a CVV pouch. That's it. No box or anything included. This is the ZT0566 carbon fiber, Elmax steel carbon fiber scale, steel frame lock. This is one that someone has confirmed with me. This is a Hinderer design, by the way, that you can't, this is an assisted knife. Oh, almost cut myself. Stop looking at the camera, Jamie. But I have had it confirmed to me that you can remove the spring, the assistance on this knife, and use it like a regular frame lock. It's actually a really awesome knife. It definitely has those hinder vibes, no doubt about it. I don't know that much about hinders, but I like this one a lot. And if I owned it, I would definitely take out the assisted mechanism in there. Price on this ZT is $140. Next up, we have an Urban EDC Supply F5.5 M390 blade steel. This is the carbon fiber version. Titanium pocket clip, titanium backspacer. Looks brand new, not a mark on it. These knives are absolutely amazing. I love the F5.5. If you've watched my channel for any time at all, you already know how I feel about this knife. Some of the best ergonomics you're ever going to feel. One of the best detents you're ever going to feel. And just so glassy smooth. Reap made. Price on this one's $220. Next up, maybe the most popular knife on the list tonight. This is the Bridgeport 395. I really considered buying this knife, but I have other projects in mind, so I'm going to let one of you guys have it. These are 14C28N blade steel titanium liner locks with titanium pocket clip. Does have a steel liner, but man, OEM by Kubi. Kubi nailed it on this knife, guys. This thing is so good. I'm probably going to regret not buying this knife, but I have other things, other projects I want to work on, other knives I want. I can tell this knife has been carried slightly. There are a couple of snail trails on the scale here, but other than that, it looks brand new. Price on the 395 is $120. Next up, we have two sets of scales for the Demko 80 20.5. These are both aluminum. This is the raw aluminum, and it includes the backspacer. I don't know what these milling patterns are called. I don't know what they call this milling pattern, but this is for the 80 20.5 with the backspacer is $60. Without the back, and these are the DLC coated version in black, without a backspacer, and you have to use your standoffs, $40. Next up, the American Blade Works Model 1, an absolute beauty of a knife, a masterpiece of a knife, made in the USA, made in my home state of North Carolina. Just absolutely gorgeous knife. The milling and the finish on the titanium is amazing. 20 CV blade steel. Ergos are top notch. Frame lock, flipper action, glassy smooth action. Price on the Model 1, $255. That is a steal. This thing is like new in the box. That is a steal on this knife. All right. Next one before I take a break is the Miguron Vaso Micarta scales. Front flipper, more of a gentleman's carry. Very thin and sleek knife. DC 53 blade steel, liner lock, glassy smooth on bearings, great front flipping action, great detent. Price on the Vaso is $30. All right, I'm going to pause. It'll be a few minutes for me. It'll be instant for you. All right, everybody, I'm back. Had to take a water break there. Next up on the list is the Maxace Black Mirror. One of my 2022 best buys of the year. M390 blade steel, titanium frame lock, titanium pocket clip, titanium backspacer. Just an absolutely amazing knife for the money. And this one's even less than you can buy it for online. So this is even a better deal. It's in fantastic condition. I know this one's going to go quick. There's no doubt in my mind. Price on the Black Mirror is $135. Next up is the Spyderco Astute 8CR13 MOV blade steel G10 scales. This is one of Spyderco's more budget knives, but man, this thing has a good detent. Such a good buy for the money with this one for sure. Price on this one is $40. Next up, we have the Asher Knives Spiro and S35VN G10 scale. Stainless steel frame lock and pocket clip. Really good action. Great thumb stud action. Fantastic detent on the Spiro. Asher is absolutely killing it. Big fan of Asher personally. Price on the Asher is going to be $50. That's a steal. That is a steal on that knife. Next up, we have the Finch Knives Devil's Finger. 154 cm blade steel. Green micarta scales. Beautiful finish. This micarta feels so nice. Liner lock. Yeah, Finch is doing really good stuff, man. They really are. Price on this Devil's Finger is $75. And we have another Devil's Finger. This one has the red micarta and blacked out everything. It's murdered out. It's also 154 cm. Exact same knife, just different colors. Same price, $75. Great knives. By the way, this little badge glows in the dark. I can't show you that right now, but you hold it under the light and then it will glow in the dark for you. But I don't have a way to show you that right now without turning the lights off. I'm like a kid at heart, so I find that very interesting. Next up, we have the WE Knives Banter. The Banter is S35VN blade steel, G10 scales, titanium thumb studs that are anodized blue. Basically like new in the box. Such a great EDC knife, great ergos, great action. Price on the Banter is $75. Next up, we have the CJRB Scoria. AARPM9 blade steel, micarta scales, titanium thumb studs, titanium pocket clip. Great action, man. Fantastic action on the Scoria. Also, fantastic ergos, forward finger choil. Feels so good in hand. Talk about a great user knife for the money. Can't get any better, man. Such a good knife. Absolutely amazing knife for the money. Price on the Scoria is $50. Still, again, another still. Next up, we have a Best Tech. This is the Best Tech Lion. G10 scales. The blade steel is D2 on this one. Oh, that is not a mark on the blade. That is oil coming out from the pivot. Apologies. Try to wipe it. That's not a mark, I promise you. That's oil. Deep carry pocket clip, liner lock. Has a Best Tech action. What else can I say? Glassy, glassy, smooth action. It does have a glass breaker if you're into that sort of thing. That also can be a lanyard if you're into that sort of thing. If you're a freak, be a freak. I ain't judging you. If you want a glass breaker and a lanyard hole, do your thing. Price on the Lion is $40. Next up, this one's already open because this is a slip joint. This is the Lion Steel Best Man 1. This is the carbon fiber version. It's a titanium frame, M390 blade steel. It's a slip joint, so I'm only going to be able to do this once, and I won't be able to open it back up. Great walk and talk. Great little slip joint. If you're into slip joints, this is modern traditional, and for the money compared to some of the others out there with the same materials, this is a fantastic deal. The Best Man 1 is $85. That's ridiculous. Next up, this knife is, I cannot believe this knife is not sold yet. It blows my mind nobody's bought this knife yet. The Monterey Big Knives EWC. I guess people just aren't into double detents. Maybe they're not crazy like me and fidget like me, but man, this is a fidgeting dream here. This knife does not lock, so keep that in mind. All titanium, M390, and just super fun to play with. I mean, it'll make a good user too, as long as you know what you're using, but I love this knife, man. I can't believe nobody's bought this knife yet. It does, like all MBK knives, it does come with an extra set of hardware in the pouch there. Price on the EWC is $140. Next up, we have a Civivi Elementum. This one has the wood scales, murdered out, everything else. D2 blade steel. This one also includes a new set of carbon fiber scales to go with it. So you get the knife with the wood scales, and if you don't like the wood, you can switch it over to carbon fiber. If you're one of those people that's not into wood, I'm not into wood. Well, I'm into my wood, but Anyway, price on the Elementum is $55 with the extra scales. That's basically giving it away. Oh, this one hurts me. Don't buy this knife, okay? Just don't buy it so I can keep it here forever and just pretend it belongs to me. This is the Benchmade Mini Freak. My goodness. I love the bug out, but the action on the Mini Freak, if you like axis locks or crossbar locks, it doesn't get much better than this. It's some of the most buttery smooth action you will ever feel on a crossbar lock or an axis lock. It's truly amazing. Carbon fiber scales. I love the red thumb studs and standoffs. Looks so good together. Beautiful knife. Price on the Mini Freak. This is a steal. Look up what the cost of a Mini Freak is. And look at this. Not a scratch on it. Not a scratch on it. But don't buy this knife. Actually buy this knife. Price on the Mini Freak, $200. Look up the price. It's a steal. Next up, the Benchmade Foray. Foray? Foray. F-O-R-A-Y. You pronounce it however you want to pronounce it. This is clearly part of the Osborne family. You can tell just by looking at that blade shape there. The Foray is 20 CV blade steel, G10 scales. Also very smooth. Extremely smooth action. This is closer to bug out action. That Mini Freak's on a different level. It really is. Price on the Foray is $150. Next up, I'm only going to be able to deploy this once because I have my camera in the other hand. This is the Kershaw Launch 11. This is another one I'm surprised hasn't sold yet because I love this knife. But it's so, God, we got to get some laws changed. Doug Ritter, get to North Carolina and fix some shit, okay? This should be legal for me to carry. This one's an auto, side firing auto, 154 cm, aluminum scales. Just a great looking knife, a great size knife. I don't think, maybe I can do it one-handed. Yeah, I can do it one-handed. And I didn't cut myself on camera. That's always a good thing. That's the last time I'm going to do it, though. I'm not going to keep risking it. Price on the Kershaw Launch 11 is $90. Actually, let me close it back up so I don't stab myself by accident. That wouldn't be good. Next up, we have some Cold Stills. The Cold Still holdout, super thin knife. Very, very thin. G10 scales and backspacer. Oh, missed it. Stop looking through the camera. This one's a lock back, but it is flickable, I promise. Let's try not to cut yourself. Closing it, Jamie, on camera. Oh, come on. Stop looking at the camera. This thing is so thin and lightweight. For a Cold Still, it's very different. Price on the Cold Steel holdout. This is a 4034 stainless steel, by the way. It's $50. The next Cold Steel I will only be able to do once. I don't think I'm even going to attempt to close it one-handed. This is the Cold Steel SR1 Light. It is not light. I don't know why they call it light, because there's a bigger version. I just don't get it. This thing is humongous. It's heavy. It's a lockback. It's thick, but goodness gracious, is it badass. Look at that thing, man. Look at the size of that knife. If this is the light version, how big is the regular version? I mean, what are you overcompensating for if you buy the regular version? I feel like I'm overcompensating with this in my hand. You know what I mean? This is redonkulous. All right, I'm going to do this. If I cut myself, I'm going to leave it in the video. I'm going to try to do it from this. Whoa, I didn't get myself. It was close. Price on the SR1 Lite, which is 8CR13 MOV blade steel, is only $30. But don't use it one-handed. Always use two hands. Next up, probably the best fifth pocket carry knife ever made. The Spyderco Chaparral. This is the sun and moon version. It's a lockback, but easily flickable. Super, super thin blade stock. Extremely ergonomic. Just completely fills your hand for a small knife. I absolutely love this knife. God, I wish I could buy all these knives. Price on the sun and moon is, I gotta scroll down, $140. That's as low as this one's gonna go. If you don't buy it right now, it's going back to its owner. So last chance on this one. Such a good knife. All right, I got to scroll down in here and get, where to go? There we go, it's a chaparral. Next up, the Berg Blades Iron Pup. This one is OEM by Wee Knives. Titanium frame lock, M390 blade steel. Very premium knife. Looks very premium and feels very premium in hand. This one has like a mirrored polished edge on it. If I can get it to focus in. Hollow grind on the blade. Great ergonomics, great action. Very premium knife. Price on this one is, oh man, I'm losing my spot. $180. Goodness gracious, that's a steal. It's like, I think they were $300 new if I remember correctly. Next up, we have the Petrified Fish PF949X Warrior. Fantastic micarta, man. For the money, these are absolutely amazing knives. K110 steel, which is basically a variation of D2, liner lock, but for the money, man, fantastic action, fantastic ergos, and this micarta feels amazing. 30 bucks for this guy here. If you buy two, 25. Next up, a little bit of old school Kaiser, but in a very good way. This is the Kaiser Wanderer titanium frame lock. Believe it or not, this big knife is a Justin Lundquist design. A very different look from him. Ridiculously glassy action. It's on washers, but it's not like a washer knife that's hard to deploy or drop. It's like so smooth. Just feels like it's on, it feels hydraulic almost. Titanium frame lock. Blade steel on this one is S35VN. Price is $100. Has the pouch and everything. Beautiful knife. Next up, one of the knives I gave a shout out to for 2022 because it's made in the USA. It's made by Case. It's going in the right direction. It has room for improvement, but overall, for the money and made in the USA, it's a great knife. This is the Case Marilla. It is also S35VN blade steel, aluminum frame lock, G10 inlay. Really good action. Really good action on it. I cannot wait to see what Case does in the future, but this one's good. It's really good, but man, if they keep going in this direction, we're going to see some amazing things at an amazing price in the United States. Price on the Marilla is $90. Next up, we have the Artisan Cutlery Arion. This is the White Mountain Knives exclusive with the red coral micarta, S35VN blade steel. Beautiful grind lines, man. Gorgeous grind lines. Titanium has micro milling that I probably won't get to show up on camera, but I will try. Detent perfection. Great sounds. Great ergos. Thin, super lightweight for its size. Just an absolutely amazing knife. Price on the Arion is $150. Next up, we have another Artisan Cutlery, the Artisan Cutlery Centauri. This one is VG10 Damascus steel. Beautiful Damascus carbon fiber on the show side. Titanium on the lock side with the same micro milling on the frame and the pocket clip. Ray Laconico design. Again, super thin, super lightweight for its size. Great action. If you're in the front flippers, you got to check this one out. Price on the Centauri is $160. Next up, we have the Concept Main Street. Burlap micarta scales, liner lock, thumb stud action, titanium pocket clip, beautiful Warncliffe blade, basically new in the box. Really good action. Great looking knife too, man. That is one hell of a looker there. I love the look of this knife. Did I say the blade steel already? I don't think I did. It's 154 cm. But if I did, I repeated myself. Price on the main street, $60. Such a good knife. Such a good knife. All right, next up we have the Spyderco Gale Bradley 2, or the Bradley 2. The Bradley 2 is M4 blade steel with a beautiful hollow grind. Look at those grind lines. Looks brand spanking new. It has had sharp dress knives micarta scales added to it, which are in fantastic condition, so it has been upgraded. Don't see many liner locks from Spyderco. Great knife. Price on the Bradley 2 is $190. With those scales, you already know it's a steal. I mean, it'd be a great deal at that price without the scales. Next up, we have another Spyderco. This is the Spyderco Advocate, right? Yeah, Advocate. Titanium frame lock with a orange pill finish on it. Let's see here. If I get that to show up. Yeah, it's showing up. M4 blade still. Very different look from Spyderco, man. Those marks on the blade are from me touching it. Let me wipe that on my hoodie here. Yeah, they wiped off. So that's just from me touching it. But man, it's a great knife. Beautiful knife. I'm a Spyderco ho, personally. I love Spyderco. Absolutely love Spyderco. I wish I could buy all these Spydercos, but I cannot. Flipper deployment and hold deployment. M4 blade still. The Advocate price is $230. This one's one you don't see very often here. This one's in like brand new condition. Man, I love this knife. Wish I could buy it. Next up, we have, look at my list again here. Spyderco, I think I'm gonna pronounce this right. The Patadis. This one's actually M390 blade steel, G10 scales, liner lock. Very different, again, very different from Spyderco. We all get very accustomed to that Para 2 or Para 3, Native 5, Sage 5. You know what I mean? These are very different from Spyderco. I keep missing it. I gotta stop looking at the camera and look at the knife. This thing's brand new, so it's not broken in yet. M390 blade steel. These are actually made in Italy, if I remember correctly. Yeah, made in... Stop looking at the camera, Jamie, and look at the knife. Smaller knife from Spyderco, but man, M390 blade steel. I just can't seem to flick this thing all the way out. Need to give it some wrist, but the Patadis M390 with G10 scales is going to be $155. For you Spyderco collectors out there, you may want to pick that one up. Next up is a knife I never even heard of until it got here, and I really like this knife. I like Benchmade. I know a lot of people are Benchmade haters out there, but I like Benchmade. This is a collaboration with Benchmade. This is the Bradley Cutlery Alias 1 titanium frame lock, S30V, deep carry clip, thumb action only, thumb stud only on the thumb side, so you can't reverse flick it. But man, I like this knife a lot. Great sounds. Beautiful finish on the titanium. This one would be awesome to anodize. Made in the, what's that? USA. Made in USA. This knife would cost, if you were to make this knife today, this knife was made a long time ago. If you were to make this today, it would cost a fortune. You see the new titanium access lock bug out release for 2023, like $522. Sheesh. Oh, goodness gracious. This is price on this one. I lost my spot. S30V, and the price is $230. Sorry about that. Trying to keep up with the list here. Yeah, I love this knife. I wish, why didn't Benchmade keep doing stuff like this more often? You know, imagine where they could be if they kept dealing with titanium. I don't understand them. Here comes another knife. Lots of titanium, but this one's made in China, but my goodness, this is a fantastic knife. This is the Dam Designs Fenrir. That beautiful Wharncliffe blade. This one has a little heft to it. It's not too heavy, but it has a little weight to it, but man, it feels good in hand. And I absolutely love that blade shape. The anodizing possibilities with this one are endless. Looks brand spanking new. Great action. You can reverse flick this knife easily, even though it does not have a fuller. The action's so good. It's super simple. Even for an old guy with arthritis in his knuckles, easily reverse flickable. 14C 28N blade steel. Price is $90. My goodness, such a good knife. All titanium and 14C for $90. That's even a better deal than the Bridgeport, you know what I mean? All right, next up we have Petrified Fish Zero. 2021, this is an older Petrified Fish knife. This one is 154 cm blade steel. It's aluminum scales and aluminum and G10. Great action. That blade shape reminds me of the Devil's Finger a little bit, honestly. Brand new. Price on the Petrified Fish Zero, $45. That's a great deal. That's like almost half price of what this knife costs new. So, great deal. Next up, we have another Benchmade. This is the Benchmade Emissary, and this is a prototype. Oh, get that where you can see it. This is a prototype Benchmade, and it's an assisted Benchmade. So it's going to be hard for me to close this. I'm going to have to use two hands here. Use the back of my hand to push it closed. Feels really good in hand. Aluminum scales. Deep carry pocket clip. You can lock it also with this button here. You can lock it open right there. Slide that forward or unlock it by sliding that back. This is another member of the Osborne family. S30V blade steel. Price on the Emissary is $155. And it, you know, for a prototype, let's see if I can get that for, what's the date there? January 2014 prototype knife. Pretty cool knife, honestly. I like it a lot. $155. All right, guys, I got to clear the desk off, bring out everything else, and I'll bring you guys back in just a second. All right, everybody, time to finish the video up. Next up on the list, we have a ProTech. This is the ProTech Godfather. I am only going to be able to deploy this knife once. It is an absolute beast of a knife. Oh, man, such a good knife. This thing is self-defense and self-defense only. I imagine you could cut a package open with it, but it has only one intended purpose. 154 cm blade steel, aluminum and carbon fiber handles. Price on the Godfather is $170. I'm not going to be able to close that one. Next up, we have the Spyderco Alcyone, A-L-C-Y-O-N-E, Alcyone, maybe? CTS BD 1N blade steel, G10 scales, liner lock, washer action. Not broken in yet, it's brand new, so it's easily deployable. Not droppy yet. It will get droppy in time. Great access to the lock bar. Price on the Alcyone is $50. Next up, we have the Spyderco Polestar. And again, exact same type of knife, just a little larger. CTS BD1 still. This one has aftermarket micarta scales, but the seller does not remember who makes those scales. Great access to the liner. A little more droppy, a little more broken in, but both of these Spydercos are basically brand new in the box. Price on the Polestar is $75 with the aftermarket micarta scales. Next up, we have the Boker M4 Sherman, still in its sealed case here. This knife was actually constructed from an M4 Sherman tank. The Damask is still there. Absolutely amazing knife, gorgeous knife. This one's for the collector out there. Price on the Boker M4 Sherman is $380. Has a burlap micarta scales. Look up the history on the M4 Sherman knife by Boker. It's pretty interesting. I actually have a video about this knife. If you search my channel for that video, I go into the details of how this knife was made, what was used, who made it, what went into making this knife. It's actually pretty impressive. If you're a patriotic American, even if you don't want to buy it, look it up. It's a pretty amazing story. So next up, we have some RC Blade Works skinny shaman scales, micarta scales. They appear to be in excellent condition. Price on the RC Blade Works skinny shaman scales is $40. Those are red burlap, by the way. Next up, we have some RGT denim micarta scales for the Benchmade bug out, and the RGT scales are $20. Next up, we have some sharp dressed knives, Spyderco Smock scales. These are like a deep red. They almost look black, but there's hints of burgundy in there. They're super dark red. Price on these is going to be $30 for the Spyderco Smock. Next up, we have some Flytanium Crossfade G10 scales, black G10 scales. Price on the Flytanium scales is going to be $20. Next up, we have a Get Good Screw Ultimanium bit driver. This bit driver is completely made of Mochatai or Ti+, whatever you want to call it. Hard to get it to show up on camera, but absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Price on the Get Good Screw Ultimanium Ti+ bit driver is $140. Next up, we have the WE Knives Coolix, my button lock of the year of 2022. Absolutely amazing action on this knife. This one has been customized. The titanium has been brushed. Looks absolutely amazing. Still has a factory edge and everything on it though. Just instead of a stonewash, went with the brushed titanium finish. Snappiest button lock detent I've ever felt. So good. Price on the Coolix is $140. Next up, Petrified Fish PF929 D2 blade steel. Oh, the Coolix is 20 CV, but by the way, D2 blade steel, G10 scales, two-tone finish on the blade. Seriously good action on this knife, especially for the money. Price on the PF929 is $25. Next up, we have the Syncuck Tynan. Blade steel on the Tynan is 10 CR15 MOV. Stainless steel scales. Great detent. Great ergos, especially with that forward finger choil. This would make a very good like lunch knife, food prep knife when you go to lunch at work. Those are not marks there. That is oil around the pivot coming out. Yeah, there we go. A great user knife. Price on the Tynan is going to be $35. I almost cut myself. Next up, we have the Tucson TS21 titanium frame lock with D2 steel. Brand new looking condition. Great action. Great detent. Be a fun one to anodize also. If you're new to anodizing, this would be a good one to practice on. Price on the TS21 is $40. Next up, we have the Best Tech Man Ronin Axis style lock. I have a review of this knife. The Axis lock was a little stiff in the beginning. It has gotten better in time. Still a little stiff, but it is getting smoother with time. but overall it is in fantastic condition. G10 scales, 14C28N blade steel, great ergos. Price on the Best Tech Man, $35. Next up, a brand new in the box Kavist Bladeworks variant PE2. This is the titanium version. 14C28N blade steel, liner lock. Excellent action. Front flipper. Stop looking at the camera and look at the knife, Jamie, before you cut yourself. These are no longer going to be made. The PE3 is the last variant being made. So if you haven't got one of these yet, here's your chance to get one that's new in the box. Price on the variant is $85. Next up, we have the Fox Edge FE028. It is 8CR13 MOV blade steel, aluminum scales. Good looking knife. Great ergos. Great budget option out there. Liner lock. Great reverse flicking action or Spidey flicking action. Also a great flipper action. Looks like it has a front flipper, but it's not a front flipper. Trust me, I have repeatedly tried. It will not front flip. Price on the Fox Edge is $30. Next up, we have a Civivi Backlash. The Backlash is 9CR18 MOV blade steel, G10 scales. Beautiful hollow grind on that blade. Fantastic ergos on this knife, man. Such a good knife for the money. Price on the Backlash is $30. Super smooth action, too. And last, but certainly not least, is a set of Spyderco Para 3 scales by Sharp Dress Knives. These are the black micarta scales. They look basically new. The marks you see are on the bag, not the scales. So price on the Sharp Dress Knives Para 3 scales, $40. And that is it, guys. That is it for this knife sale. If you saw something that you want to buy, email me at bedcknifesale@gmail.com. That's Bravo Echo Delta Charlie knifesale@gmail.com. And buy it. It'll be yours. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate your support. And I will see you all on the next one.